From Wahab Y1234, who writes, and I quote, "I feel sorry for the Germans alive these days who had nothing to do with Nazism or the Holocaust, but have pigs across the world putting the Jewish blood on their hands. They aren't obligated to feel guilty over what their grandfathers did. They aren't obligated to believe the history if they don't want to. If they are, then Christians should be forced to buy into evolution. At least it would be equitable treatment," unquote. Wahhabi. That's your name, Wahhabi? Does that mean you're a Wahhabi Muslim? You're part of the Wahhabi Muslims of Saudi Arabia. Those are the ones that murdered the 3,000 Americans in the World Trade Center attack. Those are the ones that spread Islamic terrorism, the cancer of Islamic terrorist ideology all over the world. Tens of millions of Muslim girls have their clitorises cut off by you. You rape even your fellow Muslim women. You've murdered even your fellow Muslims by the millions. And now, here you are defending the Germans who murdered 6 million Jews. You're saying you feel sorry for the Germans who murdered 6 million Jews. You're saying, well, they're not responsible for what happened, what their grandfathers did. Well, if they support the Arab Muslim Nazis like you, and they support a Holocaust against the Jewish people, then they are responsible. If after what their grandfathers did in murdering over 6 million innocent Jewish men, women, and children, if after the unforgivable crime of their grandfathers, the only thing they get out of that is that they're trying to perpetrate yet another Holocaust against the Jewish people, but this time the Arab Muslim Nazis will do the dirty work. Arab Muslim Nazis like you will do the dirty work for them. If that's what they want to do, then they certainly are guilty. They are just as guilty as their grandparents. And you're also guilty. And by the way, if we ever take power, your wish will come true. You want to see Allah? We'll put you on the Allah Express. You'll see Allah a lot faster than you want. And the only thing is, you'll be a little disappointed when you actually get to meet him. And now Brian writes, and I quote from Carlissa Farkenfine. Quote, "The Jews are habitual liars who always carry out fraud whenever the nations become embroiled in war, such as 1941-45. William Dudley Pelley published the 45 questions most frequently asked about the Jews in 1939, which footnoted the 8 million Euro Jews who were transferred to the USA and Palestine during the 1930s prior to World War II. The Holocaust fraud was manufactured to bury Nazism under lies and popularize the military takeover of Germany. Subsequently, the fraud was used to steal Palestine," unquote. Oh, so here we have someone who says that the Holocaust is all a lie. The 6 million Jews were not murdered. No, none of that happened. Auschwitz and the concentration camps and the ovens and the gas chambers. No, none of that happened. No. That didn't happen. No. On the contrary, the Jews are the ones that commit the Holocaust. The Jews are the Jews. They're the ones that do all of these terrible things. Yeah. And then you say the Jews are habitual liars. Not only that, you say that this was done to bury Nazism. In other words, you're defending Nazism. So you're a Nazi, and you support and you support Nazism and Hitler, and you're telling us that the Jews are the habitual liars. In other words, Nazism represents truth, and the Jews and Judaism represent the lie. The Jewish victims are liars, and the Nazis are the truth tellers. Well, the only thing I can say to you is, you did murder 6 million Jews, and it was terrible, a terrible, painful, horrible death that they went through, but at least they're now in a nice place. You're not going to be in a nice place. What you did to the Jews, what you and people like you did to the Jews, and people like you who support the Nazis, you're going to get the same thing as the Nazis themselves. Those who support Nazism like you are going to get the same punishment as the Nazis. The place you're going to, the punishment will never end. Over and over again, you're going to have done to you what was done to the 6 million innocent Jews. Over and over again. That's going to be your destiny in the world. And you'll see someday if I'm right. That's what I'm telling you, that day is going to come. That you will, that is what you're going to be confronted by someday. We'll see. We'll see if what I'm telling you is true. And now, a question from, or a comment from Eufeoin the Third. When a Jewish man rapes a Jewish woman, it is considered one of the 3 grave sins. But when a Jewish man rapes a Gentile woman, it is considered bestiality. These are basically the world's first racists. The Jews of Europe are actually descendants of the Pharisees who formed the Babylonian Talmud in the year 400 AD, and Muhammad made the Quran based on the Torah and the Talmud, unquote. Oh, very, very interesting. These are Nazis calling the Jews racist. You know, we have this every week now. Nazis who murdered 6 million Jews because of their ethnicity, and who hate everybody who in any way is different than them solely because of race, they refer to the Jews as racist. Talk about projection. Talk about projecting your own evil on innocent people. I mean, talk about the absurdity of being an evil, unjust, monstrous piece of garbage. Well, the only thing I can say to you is you're going to be in for a big surprise, because in the end there is justice. I know that people like you, scum like you, think that there is no justice in the world. You think that you can get away with being an evil, immoral dog, but you can't. It's going to catch up to you. You eventually will answer for all the evil lies that you spread about good people and about the Jews who are God's people. And for you to have the nerve to refer to anybody as a racist when you're a Nazi really is, you take first prize for chutzpah, for gall.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael.